We have with us all the way from Los Angeles, California, one of the most esteemed preachers and pastors in the United States. My brother, Noel Jones. How are you, sir?
My brother, how are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm glad to have you
And
join us,
everybody,
man. It is quite an honor.
and everybody's taking care. Everybody's following the government and following the rules.
We
Mhm.
doing our best. We doing our best.
Yeah, especially in Jersey and New York.
Yes.
We're praying for you guys quite hard
Yes.
that
Yes.
everything will just work out all right. We yeah, it's quite a unique set of things that's happening here, especially when we consider the prophetic execution, administrative execution of Barack Obama,
Mm-hmm.
when we consider his prophetic, not from our point of view, from as oracle of God, from our theocratic presentation, but it was certainly prophetic. His administrative execution when he realized and he saw that over a series of years, over a period of years, and you and I can go back and trace it from the Asian flu to the bird flu
Mm-hmm.
to all the way back down to Ebola, which happened in his time.
Mm-hmm.
And he realized prophetically in his administration execution that we are very vulnerable to anything that happens on the far side of the world because we've shrunk the world with the way we travel, the way we communicate. The
Mm-hmm.
world is very, very small.
It is.
From London to Sydney, Australia is a 22-hour flight. I go from here to Joburg, from LA to Joburg. If I go through Dubai, that's 15 hours. It's another 8 hours to Johannesburg. So we're talking 23 hours. If I go through London, then it's a 20-hour flight. So we have shrunk the world. In the 14th, 15th century, maybe the 12th, 13th, 14th century, it would take a year for people to get from there over here.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, when Stanley would leave home in England and go and walk down to Africa, he wouldn't be home for 4 or 5 years.
That's right.
Obama saw that we have shrunk the world. He realizes that if America is going to deal with anything that crops up as a virus, you have to attack it overseas. You have to get it
That's right.
where it is born. You
That's
have
right.
to get it where it stops. Dixon, I'm on. You got to get it where it starts. You just got to get it quickly. You got to get it so fast that you help to solve the problem of the virus wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Very aggressive. That's what he was. Very aggressive about taking that move in a global stance, America being the leader. Then, very prophetically, he has health care for everybody. If you have
Mm-hmm.
health care for everybody, then you've got to beef up your healthcare system because anybody can come in at any time. So you have to be equipped. If you have health care for the privileged and the elite, then you don't have to beef up your system because everybody can't get in there. Now, here's what number 45 did according to the message I heard previous to my coming on. What he did was he removed our offense, he eliminated our defense. So we are totally left naked to this disease. We have no offense, so we have no answer, no vaccine, no pandemic team that was initially in place who could have attacked it in China. We don't have that. Then we laughed about it and joked about it for weeks and weeks until now we're in a critical situation. Now add to that that all of a sudden essential workers are your color and my color and my
Right.
Hispanic brothers
That's
who
right.
have been grassroots on the ground all the time anyway.
Wow.
They are going to work while we're sealed in these mansions. They're out there on the front line working diligently to serve the people who are sick, and they're doing it with inadequate equipment. One of my members said to me today, works for one of the airlines. I won't call the airline's name, but they told him if you're going to have some masks, you got to buy them yourself.
Wow.
Now, $1 billion, billions of dollars they made. They made $10 billion last year. And that's what they're telling to the workers. So because we have had to eat, listen, broccoli, to get a bunch of broccoli costs $4 to $5. A hamburger is $99, 99 cents rather,
Right,
sorry.
right, yeah.
So to eat properly, you have to be able to afford the expense of eating properly.
That's
So
right.
our people end up eating the same old slave thing that's generational, and so we've been eating chitlin still, hog moss, pig feet. We've been eating the worst part of the pig, the worst part of the cow.
You're right.
We've been eating livers and gizzards out of the chickens. We've been eating bread every time, every chance we get. So we end up now with high blood pressure, diabetes. We end up with all of the pre-existing conditions that Obama wanted to deal with, so all of us could get some health care. So we would have been prepared for a situation like this. Now, add to that the fact that we preachers don't set any proper example for the congregation. We preach, we take their money, we deal with spiritual things or how to get to heaven, but we don't deal with thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We don't coordinate the two. You see, we have to bring
Amen.
into juxtaposition thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and we need to associate that with my kingdom is not of this world. Now, we have not given them health fairs. We do not do job fairs. We do not do education. All we do is have church. We just have church. And you can have church and not minister. Then we sit around at night with the saints standing out serving us at night while we eat at night like it's 12 noon in the day. So we're obese.
Yep.
We're out of shape. We're out of any kind of physical magnanimity or splendiferous physical conditioning. So we're setting a bad example. I have had people come to do health fairs, and when I do revival, I have somebody talk about health, and they support my revival because if they're going to come in to a built-in crowd, they got to give me $10,000 or $15,000 just to be able to talk, and that helps me to run my revival. And at the same time, talk to the saints about proper eating and being healthy. And it's a very critical piece that we can't keep having church with a lot of folk who are totally unhappy and unhealthy. When people get to shouting in church, I get nervous because here comes the paramedics. I got them shouting and they can't breathe. They go to falling out from shouting. It's interesting. I have seen people die shouting, and God will let you die while you shouting and they're praising him. Because there are certain principles we need to follow. And that is the God of the supernatural is the God of the natural.
Amen.
And we as the leaders, as preachers, have got to stop depending on the administration, the white people to operate. We need to get together and do some things for our own people ourselves. When the white man, policeman shoots one of our boys, all of us jump to the TV and we got a whole lot to say. We are so visible. Oh, yes, Bishop so-and-so, Reverend so-and-so, Archbishop so-and-so, he's fighting the cause of the black man. But the black man is killing his brother every week around the corner from the church, and none of us show up to even voice or to even become a part of that rhetoric. But we are there when the TV cameras come on. We need to get involved with that. Where homelessness is all around us. Our people are homeless. They're not eating right, can't afford food, grassroots jobs. And what are we doing? We riding around in Bentleys. I got a 458 Italia sitting out there, Maserati, big truck. I don't wear it on my sleeve, but it's sitting out there. And yet we have people in our churches who are suffering and struggling, and we don't give any thought to that. The black church has made their money with leadership. The ecumenicals, they are conservatives. They're pro-life. Now, it's interesting that my ecumenical brothers are pro-life before people are born. They're pro-life for the fetus in the womb before the child is born. Of course, they don't have a decision. All right, fine. But they're pro-life before you're born. but they ain't pro-life after you get here.
That's
You're
right.
pro-life before you
That's
get here,
right.
and after you get here, they try to
That's right.
kill you.
That's right. That's right.
Now, ain't
You
that something?
you right.
So at the end of the day, I'm not putting all the responsibility and blame on the administration. A lot of it belongs to them because this fellow we have, this narcissistic, egomaniacal,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
words can't describe,
I know what you're
is
saying,
setting us
Bishop.
up for the Antichrist. That's what this is. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the evangelicals and that fellow that he listened to today said Obama was setting us up for the Antichrist. Well, maybe he was. The Antichrist is probably here. But this is a forerunner for Antichrist that we have. And here's why. Leadership has declined all over the world, and that's the setup for the Antichrist. Now, I've rambled, I've circumlocuted, I've gone round and round and round. But here's what I really want to say to all of us. We need to take responsibility for the people that's under our care. I'm going out next week, Monday. I'm going to have a big talk with somebody. I want to buy a bank, and I want to buy a bank so that all of us can get involved with each other's financial situation. Some of my church brothers can't get the money from the SBA because they don't have any records. How are you keeping church and your records aren't up to date? In a crisis like this, when your people, the government will pay for everybody that you employ who makes less than $85,000 a year. But my brothers can't do it. I call my brothers around town. I say, have you fill out your application? They can't get it. The bankers are saying their records are the worst. We can't function. We can't operate. Why? Because we take the money, we put it in our pockets. My father used to count the offering on his bed at home. Government didn't know he existed. So I'm saying we have to take responsibility now for the people we pastor. I have a doctor right now who says, a black doctor who says he wants to get an ear. I just talked to Stevie and I said, Stevie, we got to get this man to listen to somebody. Stevie said, don't let him talk to the NIS. Don't let him talk to CDC. Let him talk to one of our guys. I talked to Sean and I said, we need to get this man an audience. He has a cocktail with vitamin D that can help people. He was in Monrovia and they had coronavirus, but nobody died. Everybody under his care came through, and I think he dealt with
Amen.
about 300 patients. So
Mm-hmm.
here's what we got to do. We have got to stop being individuals building
Mm-hmm.
fiefdoms and staying separate from one another, and we've got to come together. We've got to bank our money together. We've got to start talking health. We've got to give a rounded disposition and attitude. We can't let evangelicals control the president and
Mm-hmm.
tell us how to operate in our neighborhoods in an urban environment because our conservative brothers are only concerned about not helping the poor. Not help, that's what conservatives do.
Mm-hmm.
They, if you start helping people, they start talking about socialism, and that's what you're going to hear in this coming up election: socialism, socialism, socialism.
Right.
Well, the early church had to be socialist because that's what they do. They sold all and they shared among themselves, and that's what we got to do. We got to start sharing. Our parking lots, for instance, I'm incorporating it here. I started to do it, and that is my parking lot is dark on many of the nights. And even when I'm on there for church, after we leave, the parking lot is empty. One of my lots holds 450 cars. Why can't I put some lights, put some potties, put some showers, increase security, and have everybody who's sleeping in their cars, which some of my members are, drive onto that lot, get a good night's sleep, and be protected. So when they go to work, they have a good night's sleep. If we did that in every church, used our lots on dark nights, we would eliminate a lot of these people that's parking on the streets and incurring all kinds of criminal action done to them. We have got to look at this as black people and stop sitting around waiting for these white folk to fall in line because they're not going to fall in line. We have got to take this thing on ourselves and go for it. I should have been more laconic, but if I'm garrulous and went off too long, excuse me.
Well, well,
Sorry.
Bishop. First of all, I don't know what laconic or garrulous means. So if
Oh,
you
I'm
was
sorry.
either one of them things, it was all right with me, cause
Okay.
you brought a powerful word, and we appreciate you so much. And you know, my wife is from Syracuse, where
Yeah.
your dad. Yeah, yeah. My wife is from Liverpool, right around that
Oh
area,
yeah. North
and
North Syracuse.
right, and her mom and dad, her they go to Bishop Dewberry's church, and
Oh yeah. Great
and
guy.
yeah, and I know you know him. So, hey man, it was just a pleasure, and we're so honored to have you come on and talk to us, man, and not only to have your presence, but for you to feed us with so much good information, and when you buy your bank, just reserve just a little corner for the poor souls that's in Newark. And one
Well,
of the
I'm telling
pastors
you.
at
I'm
Greater
telling you.
Harvest could use a little, just a corner in the
I'm
bank.
telling you, I'm negotiating this tomorrow, and this bank is out there, and they called me, a fella doing $450 million worth of hotel over in Antigua, and they called me because the group that he's working with, the group that's loaning him the money, is buying this bank, and they want to get inroads into our community. And what I'm seeing, what I'm looking at now is, what do you have to offer us that is unique and tailored and customized for the urban church that is on the front line? That's what I want to do. And once I do that, I'm going to put these talking points together. I'm going to be the face and the spokesperson, and I'm going to reach out to my brothers, because I'm saying, if all of us would put our monies together, we could do something for the
You're
small
right.
church.
You're right.
We could do something for the brother who does not have 20,000 members.
Right.
We could do something for the individual who has the idea, the creativity, the cognitive energy, the intellectuality, but he doesn't have the money. And we can put the money with the ideas. And here's the promise we need: if we put money with your ideas and you become successful, remember the next guy who's coming. Remember the next woman who's coming. So that, if we keep giving to givers, the cycle continues. But when we start giving to takers, it stops right there.
You're right.
And we need to do this. Some of us are Hollywood and popular and big time, but many great voices aren't heard because, one, they don't have the style, and two, because they don't have the exposure. Many of our great voices aren't being heard, and that's what we need to do to put them out there. And let's get going. So when I come with this, I want support. I don't
You
want,
got it.
and this
You
is a
got it.
major bank. It's rated B on the market right now. So
You got it.
uh
You
so
got it,
we
Bishop.
come
You got it,
we
Bishop.
come
And I want to reach out right now. I'm gonna bring him on later, but brother Dixon, Abe Dixon is a good close friend of mine, and I
Yeah.
thank God that he reached out to you and that you came on and shared with us. And so, brother, we're proud of you, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, and keep us informed on how that works for you and what we
I'll
can
lay
do
it
for
out to
you.
you, Bishop. I'll
Yeah.
lay it out to you.
Yeah,
And
anything we can do here in Newark and vicinity, I'm sure you have our support. If I could speak for the brothers
I
that's
was
in
I
us,
was
man.
looking for Al. Where is Al? Is he coming on?
Oh, I don't know. Al was supposed to be on at 8, but
Al, where are you? Come on in here.
I don't know where he is. He was supposed to be here at 8, so
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Dr. Jefferson came in, and I don't know. They were supposed to come in kind of close together, but I don't know what happened to him. So
Well, I
we
heard
still
my
holding
preacher.
out hope for him. We
I
still
heard
holding.
my preacher a while ago. Oh Lord. Can I hang on for a minute?
Sure, sure.
All
Hang out
right,
with
I'm
us.
hanging on.
Hang out with us, man. I appreciate that. We're
All
gonna
right.
Bishop,
bring.
we were in South Korea together a couple years ago. We had a good
Oh
time
yeah.
together.
Oh yeah, I
Yes, sir.
remember now. It was fantastic time. You see, there's another move that a lot of people are. Let me say this. I don't want to. Garrulous means talkative, and laconic means.
I was just kidding. I did know what
Oh,
garrulous
you
means.
do know. But here's what's significant. There's a couple of things I'd like to say. One is that nobody, your conceptualization of God is uniquely yours. It is so idiosyncratically yours. Your conceptualization of God is so idiosyncratically yours that nobody can duplicate it or imitate. No one of us has it all. No one of us. I don't care how astute you are in the word, how spiritually alert you are. No one of us has it all. God has not given it all to any one of us. Not only has he not given it all to any one of us, no one generation can dictate to the next generation how they should interpret God, because God and the scriptures should be interpreted according to the situation that is upon a contemporary environment. My fathers don't have to face the situations that I have to face in terms of interpreting the scriptures to find answers to where I am. They were not where we are today. I'm not saying we're better. I'm not saying they're better or they're worse. It's just that the environment is different. When the Bible told me Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, I had a problem with that, because I said, how could he be the same in a changing world? How can he maintain solidarity and sameness and constantness in a changing world? If he's the same to each generation, then he must change with each generation. Well, the cinematographer helped me with that. He said, Brother Pastor, I do film, I do movies, I take shots. He says, I shoot the same subject, but I shoot him from different angles. I shoot him low, high, different angles, but it's the same subject. So
Okay.
he caught my attention, and that is, he is the same, but we view him from different angles.
Okay.
With what you have to deal with, your conceptualization of God is so idiosyncratically yours that I can't duplicate it or imitate it. So I need your view to complete mine. Here is where we have gone wrong. Each one of our denominations in our blackness, and we have boasted superiority to other denominations who have different emphasis. When I connect with the Unification Church, and to everybody's chagrin, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, and everybody's upset, I connect with them because their conceptualization of God and their interpretation of God is so uniquely theirs that what they do with it is different from what I do with my interpretation, but I see where they're significantly important. Their strength is, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. My strength is, my kingdom is not of this world. What I've got to do is bring them in juxtaposition and marry them both. Because at the end of the day, he's going to say to me, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was in prison, you didn't visit me. I don't have to tell you why I was in prison. You just didn't come to see me. And so ultimately, my relationship with them is because of the uniqueness of their conceptualization of God. I don't agree with all of their doctrinal positions. They don't agree with mine, all of mine. But I agree with peace on earth. I agree with everybody on earth needing to have the same opportunity. I agree with us not destroying the ecology and causing a lot of people to live, because in squalor, the boroughs in Mexico, the townships in South Africa, the townships and boroughs in Rio de Janeiro, the inner city in America, the homelessness, and we keep people living in squalor, and we keep them living and sleeping without food and eating dirty and drinking dirty water, not bathing, no hygiene. Of course, it's going to be a fermentation for disease. And when the disease comes, none of us in our private jets, none of us in our cars, we're dressed up in Louboutin, Charles Jourdan, Tom Ford, Clive Christian colognes, but we can't go anywhere. Did you ever believe that the little man, like the African American and the Hispanic, could bring America's big economy to a complete halt because they're not doing well? We need to fix it. And when we resurrect out of this, because some things have had to die, and we need to bury those things. And on this Easter day, when we resurrect, and please don't tell me this is a new normal. What we're in right now is abnormal.
All right.
What we come out of is going to be a new normal, And I hope it's a resurrection from the things that we have killed because of our ineptitude and because of our insensitivity and because of our self-aggrandizing and our selfishness from the pulpit. I hope we kill all of that. And I hope we begin to emphasize the things that are necessary. And one other thing, and I'm done, and that is for all you Christians who, and I'm a little bit apprehensive too. I'm not going to say that I'm scared of this disease, but for all of us, we have to understand this, that God did not save us simply to keep us in this world. We are in it, but we are not of it. We are pilgrims passing through. When Jesus died on Calvary, he broke the power of him who had the power of death that kept us all in bondage because of fear of death. The child of God should not fear death.
That's right.
Because we have eternal life.
That's right.
So I believe that he's able to deliver me from this pestilence. I know he's able. I believe he will. But like the Hebrew boys, I got a if not clause. But if not, I'm still not going to bow.
That's
if
right.
I die believing him, I have victory.
Amen.
If he heals me, I have victory.
Amen.
The only
Amen.
way I'll lose if I
Amen.
bow.
Amen.
And I'm not the bowing kind.
Right. Hey, God bless you, man. God bless you.
I love you guys, man. I won't hang on.
God bless. Hang on.
I'm hanging on.
Bishop Carlton, are you available, Bishop Carlton? He's